Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you the 2016 New Year's resolutions for all zodiac signs part 2, and it will be for Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. And yes, this does pertain and apply to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Well, let me get started. Firstly, for Libra, well, I think with Libra, they are often very quick to compromise and acquiesce in order to kind of keep peace, so to speak. And they generally, they don't like strife or discord. And the thing is, it's okay sometimes to, Libra, sometimes I think the thing with Libra is because of that peace-loving quality. They may not always stand their ground all the time. Don't get me wrong, they abhor injustice, and they will fight for beliefs when necessary. But at the same time, I think at times they can be quick to agree and compromise in order to avoid an argument. And sometimes you could still disagree without being disputatious. So that's something to look for as far as Libra goes for the coming year. Now, for Scorpio, well, Scorpio in its worst expression and manifestation, I'm not saying they're all like this, but Scorpio, I think, it inclines toward being a little bit more vengeful, vindictive, as opposed to the other signs, and on average. And the thing about it is that Scorpio may need to learn to let things go, because there might be a tendency, a proclivity to lament on past wrongs that may have been done to Scorpio, and it's about moving forward and forgiving and forgetting. And sometimes I understand this could be very difficult, and it could be an arduous task in the way, depending on what hurt that the person experienced. But I think that's something to look at as far as Scorpio for the year ahead, and use that Scorpio, that indomitable spirit and that willpower to just get through those negative maybe situations they may have had with others, but without brooding or lamenting on them. Now, for Sagittarius, well, Sagittarius, of course, has many good characteristics and qualities, is very jovial and jocular and very happy-go-lucky. But the thing about Sagittarius, I think, I don't know, most people wouldn't say this is a negative, but an overly optimistic and overly expansive attitude can sometimes be to one's detriment. And it's kind of like if you putting maybe a lot more faith in things that aren't realistic. And I think for Sagittarius, what I look for the coming years for Sagittarius as far as a resolution, to maybe it's okay to be exuberant and be enthusiastic about things and having all this optimism, but if it's something that is not a realistic expectation, and you've been putting the axe to the grindstone, so to speak, for a number of efforts, and it hasn't been attained, sometimes it's time to just move forward and to pursue something that has reasonable attainments. Well, for Capricorn, what I look for the coming year for 2016, perhaps is to just be a little bit more whimsical and capricious. Now, Capricorn has, like all the other 11 zodiac signs, in addition to Capricorn, they have a lot of good attributes. But with Capricorn, I think sometimes there's that propensity to take things very, very seriously, sometimes too much so, and it's okay sometimes to cut loose and to be jocular and to have that enjoyment. I think many Capricorns are dominated by their business and career, whether business and or career life, and I think sometimes they don't allow that time to really to kick back and enjoy themselves, and to have that relaxation and not have that worry about getting this done and about getting this done. So as far as business and career related matters go, so I think that's something to look at for as far as the 2016 New Year's resolution. for them is just to be able to maybe relax a little bit more and not always be so serious about everything, and not letting career matters continue maybe dominate them, as I think it could in many cases. I'm not saying all, but in many cases for Capricorn personalities. Now, for Aquarius, well, Aquarius is kind of like, I see that as that nonconformist of the zodiac, and Aquarius can be obviously very unconventional and unorthodox in their manner. Now, it's okay to be progressive and that yearning to be different, but I think the thing that I look at for the resolution for 2016 is that Aquarius doesn't have to necessarily be different just for the sake of being different, or just taking an oblique standpoint just for the sake of taking it. It's about, I mean, it's good to some, I guess, in some instances, if somebody want, I mean, being progressive, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think the thing is, I think Aquarius might have that a tendency to just want to be different for the sake of being different in some instances, and that's not always necessarily has to be the case. If there's something unique they want to pursue, that's all fine and everything, and everybody's entitled to have their own style and do their own thing if they're not conflicting or breaking laws or hurting anybody in the process. But I think Aquarius has that tendency a lot of times just to being different for the sake of being that way, and that's not, I mean, I think the resolution for 2016 is to not necessarily just be different just for the sake of being different, just so you could say I'm taking a different stance than this person, and I just want to do this for the sake of standing out. Now, last but not least, Pisces for 2016 for the resolution is, well, I think Pisces is similar to Cancer as far as the sensitivity and emotionality goes, and Pisces can sometimes be somewhat fragile in the sensitivity department. And I think also you look at Pisces as that's a sign that can might have that tendency to overlook the transgressions and negatives of others. And I think what it is Pisces, the resolution for 2016 can be to make sure they're seeing people for who they are, and being able to see through perhaps any duplicity, any subterfuge. And it's okay to see the positive in others, and in which Pisces can have that tremendous ability to do. And because Pisces can be very idealistic, but it's also important not to be unrealistic as well, and whatever attainments they have is to make sure that they're realistic as well. So for Pisces, for the 2016 New Year's resolution, I think it's just about making sure that just in general that they're that they're realistic, their goals and aspirations are realistic, and they use maybe more pragmatism and practicality with it, and also to make sure that they're seeing others for who they are, and they do what they can to detect any duplicity or perhaps deception and connection with those people, and not to be, and also maybe not to be hurt by unintentional slights due to their sensitive nature. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the 2016 New Year's resolutions for all zodiac signs, Part 2, and stay tuned next time, where I will be continuing my series on the Sun Ascendant combinations. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.